two hip kicks.
Boom.
Wow, that's the most anticlimactic, unenthusiastic boom I've ever heard.
Well, like I said, I haven't been feeling well the last day.
That's true. So. That's true. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming in. TC and I are barely hanging on by a thread, it appears. But yeah, we welcome to Finding Your Music Mojo, where we do this every other week and try to bring you more musical information and content. That's not necessarily something you see in the main record and music channels. How's that? Does that work? That works for me. Yeah, that works. So, TC, today's topic was your kind of conceptualized idea, and I went along with it because I want to learn more. So, how's that?
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Explain to the kids as they come in. Hi, my wife is here. Hello, wife. Boom.
Hi.
Sitting right next to us. Do you have your headphones on? Oh, she's had her headphones on. She's going to have to deal with the horrid delay that has with, being in the room and being on YouTube. Unless she's muted I don't know. Anyway, so tell me, TC, about the vinyl community.
What about the vinyl community?
Thanks a lot. The vinyl community on YouTube is the one I'm thinking of, but I know there's a broader community. Right. I mean, everybody, I think, who enjoys records and such are part of the vinyl community. But there's a definite community on YouTube and different social media platforms besides YouTube. But I'm focused on YouTube. So for those people who don't know and might be tuning in, what is the VC?
Vinyl community is a very active and crazy bunch of people, hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, who are obsessed with vinyl record collecting, mostly. It actually extends further to music in general. There's quite a few CD people, quite a few tape people, digital people like me. But it's a great place where you get to know people and you can people talk about their favorite records, talk about a little bit of everything, favorite artists. Some channels are devoted to specific artists like the Beatles, or one lady I follow is a Partridge Family fan.
Seriously,
another a Def Leppard fan. My channel is not completely Hanson, although eventually I will probably come up with something. It's all walks of life, male, female, kids, adults, elderly, young, and they all enjoy music. And most of them, vinyl community, VC, vinyl, most of them are vinyl collectors.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not just analog media, obviously, because people who love music collect all sorts of different types of music.
Well, the vinyl community has its purists that don't touch anything. If it's not on vinyl, they won't listen to it. They don't do CDs. They don't do digital. They only do vinyl. That's a smaller minority of most of the people in the community.
That does limit them a bit, I would think, because not every artist can produce a release on vinyl.
Yeah,
especially up and comers as well, right?
There you go. That's the point I've been trying to hammer home since joining the vinyl community 5 years ago last month.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of new artists that are not releasing on vinyl that are really amazing, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, that would definitely, I think, limit them. So, but then again, maybe they're more into, the golden age of vinyl or whatever at that point, where they're really, kind of set in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever you want to call it, or
Right.
earlier than that, possibly even, because I know there are a lot of collectors who collect much earlier than, say, the 70s or 80s. When I started collecting was in like late 70s, so, or mid
Yeah.
to late 70s. So,
Mhm.
yeah, interesting though. So, these people have YouTube channels and they have Instagram accounts, and
Yeah.
they also are content creators, and they do
Mhm.
different things. What are some of your favorite content creators who are in the vinyl community?
Oh, are you serious? You want me to really go through all this, people? They
Prepare
vary in
yourself.
all different
Everybody
types.
get a drink. Here we go.
We I think the man that probably would be called the dean of the vinyl community is Norman Maslov, affectionately
Okay.
known as Mazzy. He's based out of Seattle. He
Mhm.
was in both retail and inside the industry, record industry, for many years before he retired from that, became a photographer. Now he's just he's very uh, an amazing person to watch. He's very opinionated, very political sometimes, but always a scream. He is and full of information about hundreds of artists. Um, then there's the dude I call the professor, and my friend Jim Gleason, who co-hosts Two Guys Talking About Records with him,
Yep.
is Steve Carlson. Steve is based out of Colorado these days. When I first joined, he was based out of Midland, Michigan, where Jim is based out of. Um, he is an aficionado mostly of metal and punk and um, jazz to some extent, and
Mhm.
he's a big Zydeco and Zamrock fan. You
Mm.
don't see a lot of that in the vinyl community. If you're learning about Zamrock, Steve is where to go.
Wow.
Um, there's and it isn't limited to men. There's Melinda Murphy, who is one of the
Mhm.
sweetest people on the planet. She has an immense knowledge of mostly 80s and 90s rock, although her favorite band, I think, or her favorite band is Van Halen, but
Oh,
she
okay.
has a big soft spot for the Zombies also from the 1960s. And she also has stuff in her collection that ranges from stuff when she was a child, like Sonny and Cher and Donny Osmond, to more recent stuff. And she just goes about it in her friendly way. She's up every Tuesday morning at 11 usually, and she's also lately been talking about various equipment that manufacturers have been sending her to try out and review, and that's
That's
always
cool.
interesting too. Melinda is a very cool person and a very cool lady and very knowledgeable also. That's just three of the biggie names you see around the vinyl community, just to name a few.
Very cool. I know it's kind of some people's aspiration to get big enough on YouTube or whatever to have sponsors send them things to try. That would be very cool, right? So I
Yep.
do watch some of those type of things, like people will be reviewing a turntables. A lot of them, though, they buy their own stuff. They
Hmm.
literally like
They do,
buy their
most
own.
of them, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a very. I don't think it's very lucrative for businesses to sponsor. You know, the vinyl community in general, because they don't have the numbers in place to make it worth
Well,
their while.
many of them don't sponsor. They simply want, an honest review, and most of
Right.
the people in the vinyl community do that. One person who's excellent at that and who has had a really good relationship with a number of different um, manufacturers who sent him stuff to try out is Frank Landry. Frank is the proprietor of Channel 33 RPM from Calgary, I
Hmm.
know, from Winnipeg, Canada.
Okay. Cool.
Frank was the first member of the vinyl community I met. I was in the summer of 2020, being stuck in the house. I was looking for a way to
Yeah.
get back into vinyl and to get my CDs in like drawers and stuff. And I
Yeah.
happened to look on YouTube and found Frank's channel, and I wrote to him, and he was very kind and very knowledgeable. And that led me to discovering, hey, there's this whole group of nuts out
It's a
here that are
bunch.
like me. I'll never fit in
Exactly.
here. I'll never fit in here because everybody's, prog or heavy metal or whatever, and here I am, pop guy.
Do you
So,
find there's factions like that, or is it?
oh
I
yeah.
mean, they have like cliques, maybe you want to call it
Oh,
that.
yeah, there are a few, but most of them are not. They're pretty open minded. I mean, most people are really open-minded. There are some cliques out there. Some of the ones um, who attempt the gatekeeping aspect are ones that are like, oh, how dare you use a Crosley turntable? That's never going to work. You can't have that and be a part of vinyl community. And I'm like, get bent. I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
And even Frank has said Crosley turntables and suitcases are how many people are starting their collection, and then they eventually graduate to other stuff, something that we've talked
yes.
about on our gatekeeping show a few months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've never understood the total. Well, I know a lot of where it came from because it's very fashionable. I think to say this is a piece of crap and it will ruin your stuff, and then it just beat down something for the views. Right? The thumbnail is great. This will ruin your records or whatever, that kind of thing. So, but
Patrick's here with his Domino's ad for the week. Hi,
ooh,
Patrick.
Domino's pizza, pizza, pizza.
No, that's Little
Yes.
Caesars.
Oh yeah, that's right. Domino's is the Noid, right?
Yeah.
The Noid. Okay,
Avoid
yeah.
the Noid.
Avoid the Noid. So yeah, back what I was talking about is I've seen those videos and I understand what they're trying to do, but not everybody can afford, nor wants to put that kind of money into something where they're not sure if it's a new hobby. They're not going to plunk down thousands of dollars for a turntable and or a sound system included on that, right? So yeah, Crosleys are fine. You will graduate if you're serious about music collecting, and especially vinyl, obviously. You will update your system as your tastes
Yeah.
improve and as your
Oh, yeah.
money and experience improves. You'll find better things to play things on. Same with
Yeah.
CD players. I mean,
Yeah.
So if you're into
I
that
mean,
or tape players,
I'm the perfect example of that. I started collecting records when I was 3.
mm-hmm.
My mom got me a little kitty turntable and let me loose in her 45s and got me some kitty records too. And that led to a second one, which led to being able to use the family's stereo. And
Mm-hmm.
that led to a small suitcase style stereo of my own when I was in junior high. And then a larger all in one stereo. And finally, my Marantz system, which is in storage. And I have some of the components here. And I just have that plus my turntable and the computer. So
Yeah,
I've upgraded all the way around.
exactly. Yeah, if I had $1 for every turntable I've owned, yeah, exactly. I know
Yeah.
what you're saying. And my wife would probably agree. Yeah, but there you upgrade as you can. Upgrade. Patrick says yes. That works too.
Naughty Patrick, naughty naughty.
Hard to it's kind of hard to pirate vinyl, but okay, you can pirate songs. It's hard to pirate vinyl for sure. But yeah, so I think you feel it's very important for the representation that the vinyl community and vinyl collectors in general have been getting with the exposure on social media. I mean, without social media,
Hmm.
it really wouldn't be a thing, right?
Yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
yeah.
A lot of
So
members have outlets. I mean, I have outlets too, but I don't really take the time to use them that much. I'm trying to get back into Instagram. I really don't care about Facebook or TikTok.
yeah,
But I mean, because I also do stuff on Twitch. This show goes out on Twitch
yeah,
also, so I do. Um, but mostly, as I've said before, some people are there. Everybody has their own reason for being a part of the vinyl community. For me, it's sharing all that I have and trying to get people interested in new artists. I'm a big new artist proponent,
yes, you are.
digital artist proponent,
Yep.
and um, sometimes those artists will put stuff out on vinyl. Other times they won't. And of course, I'm the pop guy, so very few people listen to me. But other than that,
I listen to you, but
well, yes, you
I
you
have
and
a
I
pop
have
aesthetic
similar
as well.
tastes.
Yeah.
You and I have similar tastes, and I knew. I mean, you and I are brother and sister when it comes to the Carpenters,
Exactly.
and I knew you'd like Marcine.
Oh yeah,
So
amazing.
there's just nothing. I can recommend stuff to you and know that you'll listen and like it, I hope.
Hmm. Usually
Usually.
yes, usually yes. And I was actually thrilled when he released on vinyl. Marcina. It was
Hmm.
like woo because I will buy a CD of course, and I will do a download. I'm not as into that. I'd rather have the CD. I'd rather have the physical media. So when he produced his album came out on vinyl, I was just thrilled, and I
Yeah.
peeled that thing out of the cellophane as quick as I could. I guess what I'm how it feels to me, the vinyl community now with social media and the way we have things set up, and it's like having a giant record store to play around in, right?
Hmm.
I
Very
mean,
much so.
you go to the record store. Part of it was social. You'd interact with the music. You'd check out things. People would recommend things, not just the shop owner, but people who were flipping through the stacks or looking for things. And they would, you'd look over somebody's shoulder and start a conversation or whatever. So it's kind of the community of it all, final
Yeah.
community of being kind of reminiscent of actually going to a record store or going to a music store, Sam
And
Goody
you
or
get
whatever
that,
you went to.
and you actually can have that going to a record store experience because quite a
Hmm.
few retailers are involved with the vinyl community
Yeah,
as sellers. I
yeah,
mean, I haven't really gone out in a big way when it comes to shopping
yeah.
since the pandemic. I go out occasionally for groceries and stuff, but I don't get into town very often.
Hmm.
I live out in the Revere. I live out in Revere, which is north of Boston. It's about 10-minute drive, but I don't get into Boston to shop that much anymore. I
Yeah,
do all my practically all my purchasing online. And a
yeah,
lot of it I do through stores I found through the vinyl community. Spin Me Round, the In
yeah.
Groove, 1 2 3 4 Go, Plaid Room. I use all of these people and more. I don't even do my own Newberry comics because they're usually $3 or $4 more than everybody else.
And I think
So
most of those you're talking about are independently owned record stores. They're not
they
like
are.
they're not not there aren't a lot of chain record stores anymore. But I mean, you can buy at Target and you can buy at Walmart or whatever. But
Newberry Comics is a small chain. I mean,
is
they
it
have
okay?
I think they have like 30 some stores now,
Okay.
but it is independent. They don't have any ties to any big corporation. They are all mom and pop owned, still
Yep.
owned by the same people, and they've just expanded and they're great, but their emphasis on music has slid backwards a lot so that they're
Hmm.
mostly, I mean, there's one, the only one that's still for mostly music is the one that's at the garage in Cambridge, which is Harvard Square. So you're right by Harvard. And they have, I mean, that place is always popping. And they're open like 9 a.m. to midnight. So it's always popping with college kids and everybody else. And
Yeah,
they always had a huge selection of CDs. I haven't been up there since the vinyl resurgence, so I don't know what they've re-added as far as vinyl goes. But
that would be interesting.
um, I know that before they closed the one, my local one, which was at the Square One Mall in Saugus, they closed it a year ago, April.
Hmm.
They had cut way back to mostly pop culture stuff. Had just two
Ah,
racks of records and a rack of CDs, and two racks of comics, and everything else were pops, Godzilla, Doctor Who, and stuff like that. So
okay, pretty cool. Yeah, I've well, as you know, in 2 weeks we'll be talking to Joe, who's our little independent local record store here in town. He's the proprietor of that now since he bought it from Tom. And we're in 2 weeks, guys. Come back. We're going to be talking to him about his journey into owning a record store and just what all the steps were and all the trials and tribulations of that. And he'll be open for questions as well. So, but I think record stores, at least in my area, fewer and far between. I know there's like a couple towns we go, like when we go to visit my mother. There's one in Grand Haven and there's one maybe in Muskegon, but there's not the amount that there used to be. There
so
used to
you
be
haven't been popping
tons of
up all everywhere because I mean there have been
yeah.
so many popping up in this area over the last 4 years that it's scary.
Hmm. Really?
Most of them in Metro Boston as opposed to the
Yeah.
North Shore or West or South, but most of them have been Boston, Cambridge, Somerville,
Yeah.
and they're easy to. I mean, you can get to them. Not
Hmm.
always easy when you don't have a car. I have to take an Uber and it's expensive, but They have some highly thought of ones, and there are a few on the North Shore that we haven't been to, but they're also way north of here. We used to have two or three locally that we would drive to when we had a car in Saugus and in Linfield. Those are all
Uh-huh.
gone. They're all
Yeah.
gone. So
Yeah. So if you've got fewer, for God's sakes, we definitely have fewer here. But I think just the nature of the beast. When it came to obviously the decline of vinyl and CDs coming into vogue, but now even any media, any physical media, now with streaming, that's the next step, right? That's the next thing that's kind of chewed into the physical media realm. So you've got places like Walmart and Target and others just getting totally out of Best Buy, getting out of physical media totally, right? You don't need
yeah,
it.
I mean, around here we haven't seen too many anyway.
Mhm.
I keep a couple years ago there was a rush of people online around not I think it would have been post Christmas of
Okay.
23. So post Christmas of 22, early 23, where everybody in every other part of the country was saying how Walmart was having these great deals, two for two albums for $30, which, considering they're usually 30, 35 a
Yeah.
piece, that was a good deal.
Hmm.
And, and I mean,
I never saw it
Belinda,
here,
who at the
but yeah.
time was in Lexington, Kentucky, had some, and a few others in the north area, and some in out west. Neither one of the Walmarts in my area carry vinyl at all. They
Yeah.
have none in the stores. They never have. Target has a few things, not much.
Hmm.
Best Buy, I haven't been in there in ages, and they were last time I was in there, they had gone to one CD rack where the whole half the store
Yeah.
was CDs at one point.
Yeah, it's
So
totally clear now. They don't have any. Physical media has really fallen by the wayside, which I mean that is an opportunity for smaller retailers. Let's be real.
the one chain that has increased vinyl in the last few years, from what I can tell, is Barnes and Noble.
Yes, they
Barnes and
actually.
Noble had I that when I that's how I found out there was a resurgence in vinyl. We were on the Cape on vacation back in 2016, I
Uh
think
huh.
it was, maybe 2017, and Barnes and Noble had vinyl in. They'd never
Yeah.
had that before.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of nice little record stores on the Cape that we go to when we're down there. But I mean, and then of course, then suddenly every Barnes and Noble has it, and
Yep.
they seems to be the one that has the most. They've also had $5 sales on some of the stuff that doesn't move. We
Yeah.
didn't get any of that. I did pick up a few that were on sale last time, but they weren't that low.
Yeah.
And but it's they seem to be the only retailer, major box retailer, that seems to be increasing rather than decreasing because
Hmm.
people are buying it.
But again, their business model is physical media.
Yeah.
I mean, it's books. It's I mean, that's their thing. That and
Yeah,
Starbucks.
I
But yeah,
think I think you hit it right on the head there.
yeah, that is their niche. So for sure, ours has a decent vinyl collection. Patrick says, and half price books. Ah. But yeah, Best Buy doesn't. They're getting to be almost like a catalog store. They're just you can't get anything hardly in store. You have to get it off online, which is sad but true. But yeah, I've gotten it. Actually, went to Barnes and Noble's last when we dropped off Mom to go to her new house, her new place in Muskegon, and I picked up the records weren't bad and they weren't expensive, and I got one I think half price or something, which was I think a
Yeah.
Melissa Etheridge album. Now that I'm thinking about it, but yeah, they had a decent selection. I was kind of impressed.
The
If it
one
takes
the
you,
one up in Peabody is not great. They had only like a few things. They don't have a large section because that store, when they moved into the new building, it downsized considerably,
Mhm.
and so they've lost a lot of the space, and they have very little. They have like 5 or 6 racks of vinyl, but it wasn't anything. They had like the big sellers. They had the Taylor Swift, they had the Adele, they had the ABBA at the time. But yeah, I mean, they don't have a lot at that particular store, and they tend
Yeah,
to carry the big titles for the most part, and a few
yeah.
niche titles.
You'll see a lot of that. The reissues of things is usually what you get at the newer stores. You get your Queen, You got your Led Zeppelin, you get all the bigger names, the more semi-current names that are releasing on vinyl, and then you'll get the reissues of things that people, Boston, Queen, a bunch of different artists that everybody knows and remembers, or they have an album that's totally trash, so they'll go and try to buy a new one to get it, to get
Yeah,
a better copy of it or a reissue copy of it or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah. So, and I've done that myself. I mean, I had a decent copy of Boston many years ago, but it's gone now. So I had to, and I wanted another copy of it. I had it on CD and I could listen to it anytime I wanted to, but I wanted I wanted a vinyl copy of it. So I went and bought that.
Right.
So, which by the way, best album of the 70s, just saying. Uh, and I will prove me wrong, as they say. Prove me wrong. Best album of the 70s. So as far as vinyl community goes, what do you think the future is for the vinyl community on YouTube
Well,
and on social media?
the vinyl community is always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
How it's going to change will depend on how things change in the medium itself. Like me, I've tended to slide off from vinyl again back towards CDs because they're more affordable,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that has a lot to do with it. But overall, people are going to continue to buy vinyl, and the more that I mean, right now, so many of the record companies continue to do these new reissues all the time. Don apparently had to pop off for something. Um, and
Sorry. Oh, I hit a button, didn't I? Hang on a second. Keep going.
that's
I'm
okay.
here.
And I mean, with all the new reissues and such that come out, like the big Ozzy Osbourne set that came out just a
Yeah.
couple of weeks before he passed on, um, those are always going to move. I mean, people will spend fortune on them.
Oh God,
Quite a
yeah.
few of the Beatles fans in the vinyl community bought that gigantic George Harrison set that came out a few years ago with a $999 list price. Um, I don't know whether they'll do the same with the new Beatles anthology version that's coming out. It's
Yeah.
hard to tell. Um, it all depends. If I think while streaming is becoming the norm, there are
Mm-hmm.
many people like you, like me, that even though we do stream, we still prefer physical media, or at
Truly.
least downloaded media that's mine and not can't be taken away from the labels or the temperamental artists who get pissy about Spotify or whatever.
Yeah. Remember, you're streaming it. You're just agreeing to use it. You're not. You don't own it. You
Exactly.
don't own it, and you only have a license to use
Half the
it.
time,
All
what you
you own.
have, you don't have. Even what you have, you don't own half the time. It's just licensed. Yeah.
Exactly. That's all you got. So, um, so I'm obviously I'm not a huge part of the vinyl community. I don't watch a lot of the videos, or I have seen things because obviously we do music and I post record plays and things. So, um, but if somebody was interested in checking out some of the other creators on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, you have recommendations to for who to start with, depending, I guess, on their genre and what they really like. But
Yeah. I mean, I've mentioned the biggies: Mazzy, Steve
mhm.
Carlson, Melinda Murphy. Vinyl Richie is another person who has an immense collection of all different things. I mean, he has like your rare pop and a rare punk stuff that he loves, right down to like records from the Leif Garrett fan club that he's shown off. So he's
Cool.
everywhere in between. Um, if you're into, um, there are people who specialize. Like I said, I do, I subscribe to a woman who is a huge Partridge Family fan. She has a huge Partridge Family collection of stuff.
Wow.
I know people who are, Beatles, Jethro Tull, the band. Um, there are quite a few people that have their own little niche of one act that they like more than others, although they'll talk about others. That act, like for me, people know
Hmm.
if they want Hanson stuff, here I am.
There he is, right there.
But
That's right.
I also talk about a little bit of everything. And I think that's pretty much the way it is for everybody, that they're out there. But as you get to know, like if you want to know something about the in-depth, get into the weeds about Van Halen stuff, Melinda Murphy's the person to go to. She knows backwards and forwards everything about Van Halen.
Yep.
Stuff like you will figure it out, and you can ask if you're on a channel and you see something and you're like, hey, do you know somebody that might be able to tell me more about that? Leave a
Mhm.
comment, and they're more than likely to not only
Usually.
answer you, but to send you a link to another channel.
Yep. Yeah, they're pretty good about that. I haven't really been shamed or scorned for any questions I've asked on any of the creators that I've, corresponded with or talked to.
Hmm.
Um, I, I mean, if you're posting something like "you guys suck" and da, 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 yeah, you're going to get that kind of response, but not usually. You suck so bad. Now, as far as who do you? I know you follow these people because of their tastes in music, and they're very interesting. How about the audiophile guys? Do you follow any of them? The people
I
that are
follow a few
really
of them.
okay.
I follow more people that are into equipment in general.
Okay.
Because I'm a tech, I love little gadgets and stuff. So V Westlife is one of those. Our buddy
Yeah.
Ben at Oddity Archive is one of
Yep.
those. I follow them, and neither one of them are really part of the vinyl community. They're part of the tech
No.
community.
Yeah.
And
I do
Ben,
enjoy them.
I think Ben is on the fringe. He doesn't really talk much about vinyl, but he does do some vinyl shows.
Techmoan is good too. Do
Techmoan
you
also, yes, who I
Techmoan? Yeah.
found through Ben, thankfully,
Yeah.
and a few other people I found through Ben. Through his, I found a lot of them when they've been there for his live streams and in the chat. And I'm like, oh, I want to check his site out. Oh, I'm going to check his site out. It's been
Yeah.
great. But again, that's a tech community, not vinyl community. But the vinyl community is the same way. You can find pretty much anything you want, from general stuff to extreme audiophile people to equipment people who look at all
Mhm.
different equips of stereotypes. And one of
Yeah.
the best on that, who does it with a sense of humor and a smile on his voice, is Recordology, which I know
Yeah.
you follow too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
He's
Recordology. He
good.
does radios, turntables, records, ridiculous concepts like the little train that travels around the outside of the record.
God help us
I
all.
mean,
Yeah.
he's always a blast to watch, and they always have great stuff on that channel.
Yeah. And that's probably more of what I watch. I watch the tech stuff because that's kind of where my heart is, right?
Hmm.
I like old tech, and I like,
That and the lawn mowing.
retro, then the lawn mowing. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that lawn mowing, tearing things apart and putting things back together. I'll watch anything. I'm that way. I'm just a sucker
And
for that kind of thing.
one of the best things about the vinyl community is through the vinyl community, you can find other communities.
Hmm.
I found you guys through Record Crate, who is one of the stores that was on. He's mostly on Whatnot these days, but he did quite a
Right.
few sales on
YouTube.
YouTube. And
Hmm.
you guys were working with him at the time, and I became friends with you. I found Katie the
Yeah.
same way, and Katie is part of
Katie's great.
the reseller community, and she's also part of the vintage community and
Yes.
the vinyl community. She's a
Yeah.
doo-wop
They,
collector.
they kind of
So
overlap each other.
it all comes together.
Yeah.
I found radio people here, a lot of whom I'm talking to on the new show I'm doing.
Sweet.
I find resellers. I've gotten involved with vintage people. I've gotten
Hmm.
involved with so many different communities because of the vinyl community. It's a
Exactly.
gateway community.
It is, for sure. Okay, Patrick has a question. Can't you record off Spotify with software like old days taping off the radio? Well, I suppose you could. Uh,
Patrick, the short answer is no, you're not supposed to do that. That's pirating. The long answer is yes, there are several programs out there that you can do that with. But it's
there's,
a roundabout pain in
yeah,
the butt process.
yeah, yeah. And I'd rather not pirate it. I mean, at least if you're streaming something or buying the CD or buying the record or whatever, you are in some form supporting the artist or the record label, depending, I guess, on how you look at it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
people give me that kind of crap on that too. I've gotten crap from people about posting whole songs where you're taking away from the artist. No, I'm not. I can't monetize it. The labels can, and the labels can collect the money for the artist.
yeah.
I'm not taking away. I'm trying to promote them so people will get interested in them. And that's what all I
Mhm.
ever wanted to do. It would be nice to be able to make a stream of revenue on the side, like through
Mhm.
memberships or something, but YouTube's rules say I can't do that.
Yep.
And nobody's interested in Patreon. So far that hasn't happened. But
Yeah.
I mean, my whole goal is to give them a wider audience, not take away their money.
Right. Exactly. And let's be real. If you're, yeah, I mean, if you're streaming YouTube music, most of the stuff that's been put up has either been put up by people just, they're not getting monetized for it, but YouTube is playing it to you and you are hearing the commercials, et cetera, et cetera. So if you listen to YouTube
Right.
music, or if you subscribe to YouTube music as a, paid monthly, the money's going somewhere and it's usually going to the label or the artist. That's the way I look at it. So that's why I don't have a problem streaming through YouTube when I'm like working somewhere or doing something, right? I'll just let it
Yeah.
play. Sometimes I play my own stuff, but most of the time I play other people's stuff, and the money goes to the artist and the label. That's the way I look at it. So no,
Well,
no
I'd
poo-poos.
say labels first, then the artist.
Yeah,
Labels, artists.
artists.
You
Yeah,
know,
I know. They get their 2 cents. Damn it, literally. Yeah. Patrick's check. Okay. So XP, yes, Windows XP is old tech. Thank you very much. Anyway, so
could be worse. Could be Windows 95.
it could be.
Yeah.
That would be really old.
I mean, one of the big examples of the vinyl community, I'm involved in yet another community because of the vinyl community. And Dawn, you know what that is because I don't shut up about it from about February till about the end of May.
Yeah, that's true. Eurovision.
And most of the acts that I promote, I find through Eurovision.
Yeah,
I
Eurovision is a
love
thing,
them.
kids. True. Now, is that a
So
big
I'm out there
community
too.
too? Is that a big community?
It's a different community, and unlike the
Well, it's
vinyl
global.
community, it
Yeah.
is. Unlike the vinyl community, there are huge click pockets in that, and I mean they don't like Americans that are involved in Eurovision
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I don't care. It's still great music, and that's where I found practically everybody I promoted over the last couple of years came from either Eurovision or Junior Eurovision, or maybe one of the talent shows here, like America's Got Talent or Rising Star, or one of those shows.
Very cool. Yeah, I can imagine there's a little nationalism involved there. Well, I mean, first of all, it's all these countries are competing, so that's one thing. So there's that country pride, right? But
Yeah.
also, America was never part of Eurovision previously,
No,
and it's
we
like
tried.
we tried.
American Song Contest was a colossal bomb, and
Yeah.
it's because of the way NBC did it. If they'd done it the way that Eurovision was done, it might have actually worked. But American television does not work that way,
No,
the same way as European television. So,
no, there's too much is wrapped up in sponsors.
yeah,
Truly,
exactly.
The commercials are They need to run a butt ton of commercials, and you cannot preempt any kind of programming for a whole week. It would kill the industry.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, over here, Eurovision has been with Peacock since 2020 or 2021. And that first year, during the interim, on one of the shows when Johnny Weir was hosting, they actually cut away for a break. And they got holy hell for it from the EBU, even though the EBU in Europe allows their partners to take sponsor breaks during those little breaks. Peacock's contract says they can't do that.
No.
So I don't know if it's coming back on Peacock next year. I think their deal was up the 2025 year. So they may or may not be back, but they have been growing every year in viewership. When it started here on Logo, it was 340,000. Peacock did reach a peak of just under a million viewers last year. So that it is growing.
Good. That's good. All right, any closing thoughts about the vinyl community that you'd like to share with our audience?
Closing thoughts. Well,
predictions, closing thoughts, recommendations, whatever you want to say.
All I can say is this: when you're in the vinyl community, be who you are.
Yeah.
I learned this the hard way. I'm trying to learn everything and trying to be part of everything, and I finally came to the realization when I had to come up with a gentleman who's not in the vinyl community anymore. His name's Robert Z. He keeps popping in and out of the community. held a contest every year, and it was like multi-part, and it was for this big lottery that he would do.
Mm-hmm.
And one year he said, think of what you do, pick a theme song for your channel. And I had to sit back and think about it really hard, and all of a sudden it just popped into my head, the the perfect theme song for my channel. I'm a pop guy. I like a little bit of everything. I like jazz. I like new age. I like rock. I like heavy metal. I like country. I like R&B. I like disco. I like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And an old song from Cass Elliot popped into my head, and the lyrics of the chorus were perfect. Make your own kind of music. Sing your own special song. Make your own kind of
Yeah,
music, even if no one else sings along. And
true.
that's what I do. And it must be doing something right. I'm pushing 1,500 subscribers. So
Yeah, you're rocking it. You're rocking it. You're doing a good job. Well, you've always had a high level production quality. All your stuff is very nicely done. It's very well done. It's polished.
thank you.
It's professional quality for sure.
I've always been the type that I like to predict. I like to do shows rather
Mm-hmm.
than just videos. So
Yeah. Yep. So
hence the
yeah.
intros and the hosts and the
Yeah.
themes and everything
All the
else.
fun stuff. All the
Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah.
I get a kick out of doing that.
And me, I just want to play records. You know me. So
Oh no, you do some pretty elaborate production stuff yourself.
yeah. I got more to tell you about that too. That's after the
Okay.
show. I'm just gonna I gotta warn you off on something. So yeah, cool. I mean, I like I said, I'm learning more than I mean, I have been kind of a bird's eye view looking at the, from a distance kind of vinyl community person. I don't really jump in and join
Hmm.
forums. I don't really subscribe to a lot of different content creators. Um, I guess I should go look around for a carpenter's content creator, shouldn't I? Or whatever, because they're probably out there. But who would be a good carpenter's content creator that you would watch
I haven't
these
come
days?
across any.
I haven't either. Maybe there's a void there. We need to fill that void. There you go.
Yeah.
You got Hanson. I can take the carpenters. Will be good.
And we
But
have, and Def Leppard has somebody too. So
see, Def Leppard has somebody.
yeah,
There you go.
Clarkovision over in Scotland.
I'll be damned. Well, that makes sense. I guess for sure. Well, okay, TC, we're gonna call it early. I guess you want to tell the people
Okay.
where you're gonna be.
I have my channel, TKR
Sure
Video
to.
Central, ramping back up this week, and we should have programs all the time. Come take a look at our Obscuria show, which is Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. I have a new show called Regional Obscuria, which is Monday and Friday at 1. And I have stuff up all throughout the week, and both myself and my wife, Kim. She has a new show Kim takes on tomorrow. It's at 4. And more stuff is coming over the next couple of weeks, so check it out. TKR Video Central on YouTube.
Sweet. Thank you, sir. Mary and I are still doing Chick Chat from our boffice. This is the boffice. This is not the office. It's not the bedroom. It's the boffice. And we are doing Chick Chat twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern time. I am still uploading random 45 plays because I still have a bunch of random 45s that I'm trying to get rid of, as they say, while we get ready for our estate
You're not
sale.
trying very hard.
I know, I bought more. Addiction is a horrible thing.
Yes, it is.
Is there a Vinyl
I'm
Anonymous? Is there
TC
a
and I'm a 45-aholic.
That's right. If there's a Vinyl Buyers Anonymous, I am on it. I am definitely going to that meeting. So, and I've also been uploading, like I haven't found many, what do I want to say? Weird albums for Weird Album Wednesday, but I think up now for members to watch is the K-Tel promo disc that I picked up. And that's coming out for everybody else to listen to, I think, on Wednesday. So that's cool. And we'll just be dropping
you might
music.
be able to find all kinds of interesting stuff when you get to Costa Rica.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking. Because there are record stores in Costa Rica, kids. So yay on that. Yay, for sure. So yeah, but we'll be doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thursdays is estate sale bingo, so please come check that out. No prizes, but there are bragging rights. And who's the trying to think of who?
Greg
Greg. Okay, you came into hot second, wasn't it?
I was second with the double.
Yeah. Okay. It was Greg that is the bragging rights now. So, yeah, if we'd love to see everybody come in for that, that would be so cool. Other than that, I guess we're going to give you guys back your evening now. Everybody go have a great time. The weather in Michigan is great. Hopefully everybody's weather is doing good. And we will see you all in 2 weeks on TC's channel, because we're
Do you
want to
do that? Since you have the guests coming in, if you want to do it, you can, if it'd be easier.
We'll do it. Yeah. Okay. I can do that. If it'll
Then
work
I can
either way
take
for
the
me.
next one after that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. So, okay, back to our channel, but we remember TC is streaming. He's streaming on his as well. So
Yeah, you can catch it on TKR Radio Central and also on TKR on Twitch.
Yep. If you came off late or you come in late and you want to check it out, go check out his channel, because he's got some great music related content. We will see you guys in 2 weeks here and on TC's channel. And everybody have a great 2 weeks. Talk to you later. Bye.
Ciao, baby.
Do hip kicks.